Now we are going to talk about some new features that is there in S4 HANA on the ABAP side. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to first log in. So this is an S4 HANA system, and we are going to log in. And again, if you have single sign-on, you don't need to do it. So here I'm logged into SAP. Okay, so some of the stuffs that we will see in a BAP side is this. So first we go to SE38, and suppose let me see whether we can open something. SAP. Let's go, and we will see this. So this not exist. This let's see C star search with function. And let me see. I'll just show you some stuff. Okay, so this is the program that I'm showing. Okay, so now very important thing, if you see, remember in the ECC6 we didn't have, so in order to update text element you have to go here and do this. Instead you can just click here now. Okay, and and here you can update it, so it's less one click and it's less one mistake, because you can just click on F5 and you can go there if you're a keyboard person, but now it's here, so it's easier. You can click on text and you can go here. So this is one very important thing that you can do. I would have preferred it to default it to the selection text, or make it smart enough, like based on the parameter I define. Suppose a parameter or the select option I do, it should take me to this, but that's not there. But that's something that probably SAP can do it. So this is one feature that they have done. Another thing is very big feature is in the version management they have done. Okay, so if you see the version management, they have stuffs that has changed a lot. So if I go here, compare, retrieve. Actually, I don't have a TRFC here. So let me see, remote comparison. There's nothing to compare. Let's see, RFC destination. Let me see. Let me search whether we have some RFC destination. Let's see, we'll do 110 and we'll do enter. We'll click enter, and here, so here I have to log in and password. So this is not going to work because I don't have the password. So there's some changes on the version management side. Since it's not connected here, I cannot show you that. Okay, now another big change that is there, so let me go. So this was one change, the text element. There's another change that you can go is if you go to SE11 and you remember the BSEG. So suppose BSEG is there. Okay, and one big change is there is no more pool table. Okay, so everything is an application table. So the greatest thing about when we started SAP in 4.7, 4.6, we always had that thing that, oh, BSEG is a table which is a cluster table which has every freaking data, but we can't use it properly because it's a cluster table and will have performance issues. So those things you will never have this problem more. It's because you will know what are the, so this is not more a custom table, another means cluster table. Okay, so if you notice, if I click on this, it's no more cluster table. There's nothing called cluster. Okay, so that's very unique. In ECC6 we have a bunch of cluster table. Now another thing is, if you notice, there is the indexes. Before we used to have an index here, or if we used to click go to indexes. Now they have added in the tab, so it's easier. Okay, and you can see, like, before I think we used to, like, let me show you how it used to look. So go to indexes. If I go click here, mm, probably it opens up here only. So yeah, it's taking me there. Before we used to get a pop-up and you can see only 8 at one go. Now you can see a bunch of more. So that's one big change that they have added. Now another things that they have added is their stuffs like if it's a customizing table, let's find a customizing table. So there's some customizing tables. There would be something special where they have there is a time during which you want to hold this. So let me see. Not here. So we'll get a customizing table. Let's see. Let's go to 001 probably. And this is company code. And here, if you see, not here also, there's size category, generic. There would be, this is not a customizing table. Yeah, it's a customizing table. Okay, development means allowed. There's something that makes it different. So hmm, let's try. Probably when you are defining a Z customizing table, here you will see some new options where you have to define that, oh, this how much is the aging of that of the table and all those things, so that there's no performance issue on storing the data in S4 HANA. So that's one changes. So if you again see, you can see indexes right here. Okay, so rather than it's less clicks, and it's obvious you have stuffs here directly. Okay, now another, let's see some more changes that is there in S4 HANA is what are the changes. Then there is some changes in the workflow template. There's a bunch of changes in workflows. We have flexible workflows that is defined. So if I go to PFDC and if I click on this, there is a new thing called, you can see workflow template, and here you can suppose there would be an option where you can define flexible workflows. Okay, so there is it. Okay, and here workflow, flexible workflow. There will be options. Let me see. Let's go into workflow template and we'll search with flexible. Okay, so we'll do continue. We'll click continue and we'll search with flexible. FLEXIBLE. And here you can see all these are flexible workflows that SAP has created, standard out of the box. Okay, and these are the flexible workflows. Okay, so you can see these are designs. Okay, these are mostly used, it's ready to reply, you don't need an ABAP to make changes. It's pretty easy. If you see, I'm just showing you what is there. There are agents and all those stuffs you can add. So let me show you what are the different types of agents are there. It's a blocking sequence, properties, not here. Let me see. This workflow initiator, and here it's not showing up. Here properties, you have our item display. Let me show you. Delete notification form deleted. This is not a good example. Let's go and try to get something related with purchase order. So let's go, we'll search with we can search like this where it will open by module. Okay, so let's go. In the meantime, okay, here it is. So here where we will see the purchase order stuff will be in material management. Yeah, there it is. And we will see purchasing, and we'll see purchase order, workflow templates. This one, workflow purchase order, this is a flexible workflow. Okay, and if you see here, there it is, for flexible workflow. So you can see this is the flexible workflow, and the agent rules, there is 6. So you can be manager of workflow, ensure manager. So all these are defined, so you don't need to worry. And if you see, these are the different rules. Now you might say how to define these rules. Every rule has a has a function module attached. So if you double click, here is the rule. So it's pretty simple. You know, every tool has function module attached, and like manager of workflow initiator, you can click on this and you can see the binding what is getting created by this the requester. Okay, and like if I want to see manager of workflow initiator, I want to see what is the code behind it. So manager of requester, so if we go into details into the workflow, so you can see this is so from I employee. Okay, so what is I employee? So I employee is double click. So this is a if you think this is a CDS view. So we have more CDS views now than any other. So you will have, so if you see, you might say what is CDS view. So in CDS view you can just go and click on this, and at the end of the day it's doing all this coding. Okay, so if you go here and if I go into this position, into this place, it's doing all this joining and other stuff. So if I go here and I go to click SE16, let me see whether it will have something I employee. So here you can see all the employees. So here you can give the employee number and you will know who is the manager and all those things. So it's pretty useful. So it basically uses CDS views. Okay, and that's a new thing that is in S4 HANA. It's in SAP ECC6, but it's mostly used in S4HANA. So that's one thing. So let's see some other function modules. Like I want to see cost center responsible. That would be fun. Probably that's also a CDS view. So you will know a lot of CDS views from here. So let's see whether it's a CDS view or something. So if you see it's getting the PO number, then it's getting this, and I think this is probably not a CDS view. Get responsible, and let's go into this get responsible agent. It's a class, and here I can get WBS. So if I go to here, map input responsible person from this, where this, so IWBS, I think probably this is the place. This is a, again, the skill view that has this. So this is pretty useful. So there's some changes, big changes that has been done in S4 HANA that you can use. So if you have to find the WBS cost center, or no, don't need to code it like this. You can use this particular function module. Okay, like the WBS responsible, also you can just double click and use this particular function model to get your things. So this is one major change in SAP workflow related with S4HANA. Now there are other changes that is there in S4HANA is like you don't have more uh, a vendor master or customer master. It's everything is maintained through BP. So if you go to XK03 and I try to search it, I click on address, it will redirect me to BP transaction. Okay, XK03 is obsolete and it's redirected. Another big change that is there is we don't have more MB01. So there's a bunch of stuffs that has been removed, that is not there. So MB01 will be removed by Migo. Okay, so all the MB transactions is no more there. So there was a table, or let me see, but sometimes this table is not populated. So pcore probably replace it. Function F4. So let me see whether I have it created in the SQL view in a get CDS, get change, get OData, get process. No, I don't have it. So there's some bunch of other transaction that is gone, like MB03. It's no more there. Everything will be gone. See, most of the MBs are gone. Then XD03 is all the XD03, FK03, you name it, all of them are gone, are replaced with BP transaction. That's the major change. Another thing that has changed. So there's vendor master changes. There's some changes in the BAP code. We saw there's some changes in the version management, please. But since there is nothing here, I cannot show much. Now let's see what are the changes there. So another changes is in SQVI. When you create a view, before you couldn't use a view there, but now you can use a view, means you can do a join of all the views. So another thing that we have there's changes is like, you if you want, there's since there are so many changes in the uh, there's changes in retrieving data. So if you want, you can see CDS views. Okay, so what are the CDS views for, suppose, uh, and I want to see all the CDS views that is available for Lifnar field. You can do it. Now you might say how to define this. So it's pretty easy. I'll show you how it is defined. Okay, so here I go to quick view. Wait, edit. Go to here. I can generate execute. Now I'll go and click on data. Okay, display join. And now if I click on the join condition, here, so this is the join condition. This is important. Now here, alias table, delete, check link condition. Nope. Extras, reference field. Nope. Here at some place I can basically generate a code. So let me see where I can generate the code. It was somewhere here. Layout mode. No, I don't want that. Quick view, description, check, layout display. No, not here. Probably here. Quick view, display layout, execute, additional function, display remain just. Okay, so not here, but I think in the views, not here. Okay, that was in the view. Sorry. So here you can see the display join condition. So this is the table DDL dependency and DD03L. Once you do this mapping and oh, so the state with this and this, and you will get all the um, so suppose I want to see whatever. So for VBELN for sales order, whether there is any CDSV, you will have a bunch of CDS views, okay, which you can use. Okay, so that's pretty useful. Now another thing that has changed, I was going through there, is if I go, like, you want to see the views, and if I go here, let me get some views here. Not some. I'll use some standard views. L function. No, I'll use V star LF, and I'll click on function. And suppose I want to get some views here related with vendor master. Okay, so there's a bunch of views here. So I'll click on this. I'll go here, and here there is something I can click. Is this If I click on this tells me the joining clause, which I really don't want. Table join. This is the joining. So let me pick up a big one, probably LFA1. Let me see, K star, and we'll do function F4, and we'll see. Let's see this one. Display. You'll have a bunch of things of this. So now go to utilities and go to documentation. Nope, not here, not here. Extras, hide, search, join condition. So if I click on this, does it? Oh, it doesn't have this. So this is, since this is a projection view, you will not have it. But there was a case where we can see the join condition. Runtime display. runtime objects. Okay, this is the runtime objects. This is what I want. And I go to object entry, no, translation, foreign keys. This is the foreign key that doesn't want. So yeah, there's something where you can see the, the different join condition from here. Settings, utility settings. Okay, this is settings. So these are some of the. So you can see a lot of views. So if I do a search here and try to search views, you'll get a lot of views, extra views that has been created in S4 HANA. Another thing that is very big is integration in SA84. If we go and if I go to enterprise service, and these are the web service. Before, we never used to have any web service um, created for BAPIs. Now in S4HANA we have a bunch, so it's ready for use. You can use it out of the box, and if you see, I'll just open here, and if you can see at the end of the day, it's a function model that you are going to use. So it's pretty useful. So don't create your own web service. Just use the standard web service wherever possible, and that's pretty helpful. Another very important thing you need to make sure is when every SAP environment, you want to store attachments, right? So one thing that we have to get into it is we shouldn't be using any attachments that is getting stored in S4HANA. It should move to archive service or file system. Okay, so that's one thing that you might have to change. Okay, that's one major thing that you need to change also. Another thing I would like to say is some of the new tables, especially for the BP transaction. So in order to know how to find which table behind the transaction, I have already uh, uh, video for that, but I will use part of the video. So I'll say I'll activate the trace here. Okay, now I'll go and open BP transaction. Okay, I'll go BP and I'll click on, suppose I'll open this and I'll put some other name. I don't know whether this is a BP transaction. Yeah, that's it. And now what I'll do is I'll click deactivate trace. I'll click display trace and probably I'll execute. This has some time problems, so I'll put 15. And now here I can see all these tables that are getting read. So what I need to do is I just need to search with this number. Pretty simple. Go into find and search. The first thing that I'm seeing is this is the table BUT000. This is one table that I'm going to use. Okay, so let's go and create a new session. Okay, SE11, or we just go to the fast SE16 or SE16N, whatever you want, BUT000, and I'll use this one. So if you see, this is a table entry. Now here we'll see whether there is another table entry that is there. So it's also searching with HRP 1001. That's for employee vendors. Okay, so there is another one, BUT01S. What's that? So let's see what is that for. BUT01S, and that's not a BUT01S, or it was 0IS. Oops, it's not IS, it's not 1S, it's IS. So here you can put this number, probably there will not be any entry. Okay, so it goes through. Then there is but 100, UT100. I don't know why it was. Now this is something, this business partner thing has been inherited from CRM. So anyone who used to use CRM before, I know you, by bunch of people will be using CRM. They had that. This is nothing new. So HRP 1001, we don't care. There's another BUT100. So here BUT001, that's another table that's getting called. So we already came to know a bunch of table with BUT. So 001. So I'll just go here, I'll put this, and again you have different relationship between these things. So you don't have an entry here, You have BUT 0 BK, so you name it, you have a lot of tables for this. So these are the different. So the most important table is another table that is very important is, I think, CVI vend link. So if you think it uses this UEID and tries to find there is linkage between this table. So this is another very important table that you will be using. Okay, so from the partner, so here if I put the vendor number, no, sorry, what's the vendor number? It was 17300301730030. Probably it will show something. I don't know. Probably I need to give zero, or probably typing wrong. No, there is another three. Sorry. So I'm missing one zero here in the between, and execute, and there it is. So you can see all these things. So these are very useful stuff, and at the end of the day you can see your familiar vendors, the table LFB1 LFM1. Let's be honest, there's nothing changed on LFM1 LFB1 LFM1. Those are there. So there is no change on KNA1 KNB1 and KNVB or whatever you have. Those are not changed. Those are there, and it will have data. So this is one very important portion that has changed. Okay, so you need to know a bunch of transaction for BP and other stuff. So that's what is very important. Otherwise you will have the same thing. You see there's some create business partner, change business partner, display business partner. So that's it for the stuffs that has changed in SAP ABAP. And some of the changes in S4HANA, a bunch of transaction got didn't make it, and a bunch of transaction didn't means there's some new features that has been there, like new transactions like BPNS. So they try to more make it simplified, and that will help in your day-to-day process. There's some new features that has been. Another thing I forgot is, I think there was one thing. Suppose I want to say, suppose and if I click on display, and one thing that has changed significantly, this is not the one that I want to see. There's some ways where you will get the, let me go here. I want to show you before I leave, before I complete this video. So if I go here, change mode, okay, and this is not edited. Okay, this is already. Let me go and find something which is not in team, not in is locked mode. Ah, everything is in locked mode. So let's go and we'll just create a purchase order. So create purchase order like this. We go here, execute. Okay, that's a problem. So we'll click purchase order, and probably I'll take out this vendor number from there. That's it. Now shows up. So I'll click on create, and I click on this, and I click this. So here now you see has not been created for purchase organization this. So what I can do here, I'm getting this error message, and here I go to navigate, and it takes me here, but there is some places where there is no, because these are dynamic clauses that are getting called. So let me see, I'll put some purchase order here. It's not been created, ABP1. So let me go here by supplier, by purchase organization, and I'll put ABP 00 something. Right? What was the name? Forgot. It was ABP1. Probably that was it. Right. So we'll just click and we'll find nothing is there. Let's change the purchase organization. We'll go to org data, and here we'll put something else. We'll put 1000, and we will see this. Supplier has not been created in 1000. That's fine. We'll try to find something which is created on 1000. That's the way to go. Mm, we found a bunch. Now we'll click on this and purchase its valuation area not defined. Net price must be greater than 0. Okay, valuation area not defined. So let's go here. We'll click on this ME59. Go to navigate. Okay, so not this place. It was a Z one. So sometimes what happens is in in S4HANA they have a feature where it some of the fields, because this particular message is getting called individually, like called dynamically. But if there was a message like mentioned like message E something, then it will show me that particular place where also the message is getting fired. So let me go. I'll go to BP transaction and probably there it will show. So if I go here, if I go to change mode, and if I change this to suppose, let me make something error. So I'll put this one, I'll put as suppose India. It gives me an error message and it will take me, nope, this is not taking me there. That's a problem. Let me find a message where it will take me. I'll put US, back to US, and let's go to control and we'll put some BP type, some fake ones, put 8000 and not exist. Yep. So it's not stopping, so that's the problem, because here every places you have to put a breakpoint and try to find where it's getting fired. So there's some features, there's some things that is not there, but in S4 HANA it will take you to the exact program field, program line where you getting this error message. Okay, so that's very important. Now let's see, there's some other stuff that is there. Okay, there's a bunch of stuffs on the my inbox stuff on the OData service things that you will be there that you can use. Okay, so that's very unique. Okay, so if you go into the OData maintenance in S4 HANA, you will have a lot of OData. So all these ODatas are nothing but you can use it as a Fiori app. Okay, and it's pretty useful. And let me show you the transaction code I went through because I went so fast. So this is the transaction code. It's ugly. IWFND slash ment underscore service, and here you can get all the stuffs that is there. Okay, these are out of the box. You can use it. You can use it with Excel also in connecting to SAP using this. So it's pretty useful and it's very handy. So that's it for this portion of the video. We covered a bunch of stuff that has changed in S4 HANA, and there's some nice new features that is there. I'll cover more stuff on S4 HANA because it will take probably more than uh, more than 200 hours of changes that is there in S4 HANA, but this will be a good start and you can learn new stuffs. That's it. Stay safe, wash your hands, and happy SAP learning.